Hello and welcome to Reactive Terrain. Yes, it is me and I'm on my own because G-Dog is off gallivanting again on holiday. I think he's back next week sometime. Who knows? It is our second year anniversary. Well, what's today? Saturday, so it's tomorrow. So this will come out a few days after this. So I'm going to say thank you to everybody that was involved in that show. We haven't done it yet, so kind of doing the whole future thing here. Today I'm actually just having a look on the course with the Bulldog. If you're not familiar with what we're doing, we've produced this LCG chassis that is able to convert itself through the classes, basically 1, 2 and 3. The kit will come with pretty much everything you need other than a class 1 body, because I feel that that's personal preferences. There's a lot of different designs out there. We're actually running a iceberg body today on a Gladiator wheelbase. The kit, we kind of recommend the Deadbolt Link kit, and what that actually does is come out at a Gladiator Link wheelbase. So just puts a few mil on due to where the positioning of the links are. But what I'm interested to see is how well each one performs in their beta form. And I've already put a couple of videos out of the Class 2 doing some really cool agility things, kind of clinging on to stuff. So I'm pretty confident that's pretty good. The Class 3, we're going to see what its 4-wheel steer is like. Actually a little longer as well, because I put Gladiator links on it, so it pushes it that little bit longer. And we're going to see how well the Class 1 does with just 56mm tyres. Let's introduce you. All right, so these are the kits, kind of ghost style today. I haven't painted the body. I've kind of got everything in there now. I didn't actually need to run the MB100. I've got a version 3 in there at the moment, which works fine. But I wanted to see, space-wise, where it all goes, putting loads in it and testing how it's center of gravity and how it performs with all that mid-weight. So this is the Class 1. With the chassis extending all the axles. There is a bumper. It's set on its 0 skid. So this has 2 settings, a 7 degree and a 0. So that means you can just pop it up and down, and that gives you your Class 1 and then Class 2. We're running the 56mm tyres, and the body does cover all 4 corners and 25% of the tyre, as you can see. So we kind of ticked all the boxes as far as I can tell. They might kind of call you out because the actual chassis itself has a 7 degree pitch on the rails, but we'll see. Who knows? I think at the end of the day, it's on rails, it's a 0 skid, it ticks the boxes. What more do they want? We've also got the Class 3. Which comes in the kit as well, so you get the actual hood and the side rails. It's actually a different ESC tray to what you can see. They've all come with different, let's take the body off of this one. They all come with different styles. This one comes with the extension bars, so the Class 1 comes with extension bars, and that pushes all that front end out. This one comes, Class 2, there's a mag mount, and then you can mag mount your cab body over it. Comes with the hard body, although I haven't actually got the pickup bit. I actually forgot it, so that's not with me today. So that will click on there. So really nice and clean application. I've actually got the Viper in this. Really like this. The only thing is you do need quite a high C volt battery on this, as in 20C, 30C maybe. Now the battery I've been using are the FMS ones, the small 380 milliamps, and they actually go tuck in here. They actually go underneath the Bulldog. So you're looking for a battery that's about 39 millimeters long. And then you can kind of get that in there. Power Giant do some, and there are some drone batteries that do the same application. Doesn't foul anything, doesn't touch anything, and it sits right under there. At the moment, I am actually running a bigger battery because my one's dead, won't charge properly. So I've actually got a big battery because on the body, you've got these undercarriage. So you can actually mount electronics or a battery on the sidewall, and what I do is I put it the other side of the motor, and that balances it out. It also keeps the weight right down here, right down low on the center of gravity. It also comes with its own link riser. If you notice on this one, it's actually got quite a strange link riser. Removes the forelink and off the axle and puts it on the link riser, giving you nice ground clearance with just standard kind of Endura or ramp crab links. There's plenty of them out there. So, and this is running, I'm not sure what size these are actually. I think these are 62s, I think. I'm sure they are. These are Mud Claws, what are they called? Oh no, these are Swamp Kings from Endura. I actually really like these tyres, super grippy. I'm running really rubbish servos on everything. Everything has got the budget servos because I've actually blown up my decent ones and haven't had a chance to replace them as of yet. So class 3 from the Bulldog kit. Now the one thing you will need if you wanted to create, say, a couple of these from the kit, once the kit is launched, you'll be able to purchase the rails separately. So really all you would have to do to kind of build 2 of these out of one kit is purchase some rails, purchase the side guardrail. This is this shape here. You can see it better in the beige. And you've got this midsection in here, which is the chassis clip that you can then purchase separately. And then that would build you, obviously, the skid as well. So 4 items, and you then build yourself a second rig out of the kit. So the class 3, it'll come with the ESC tray, comes with the hood, comes with the side pieces, so you can pretty much build whatever you want, really, as crazy as you want from the kit. It also comes with a boa. You'll see that this has actually got a tilt, like the servos tilting forwards. It's actually on straight axles. The axles are perfectly straight. I tilted the boa for a good reason. What I wanted to do is, as it kind of pushes up against the rock, it actually rolls up. So at the moment, we've all got the rigs wherefore the servo horn gets kind of snarled up. What I wanted to do is create it so it slid up it rather than getting snarled up. A little bit quirky, nice little design, works really well. So yeah, pretty happy with that. And then just a standard rear axle, front axle on the rear for the 4-wheel steer. The other thing you'll notice is it's pretty untidy, and there is a good reason for this. I've got all beta stuff in here. I'm not going to start cutting wires until I've got it, but what I did put in this one is the RC group combination. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted to see if I could get like the biggest, chunkiest stuff rammed into it. Now it is a bit of a squeeze. I've actually got this sticking out slightly of this hood. There is a tray underneath here that you can get a nice ESC or your receiver in if you've got nice compact stuff. But I wanted to see if I can get the big stuff in, and you can. It's not the most tidiest, hence why it looks the way it does, but it is doable, which means you can put the Fat Viper in there and it's set up, and you can also put this budget RC group motor in there as well. All right, let's get some batteries and see how they perform. The sweet spot of the Bulldog is probably the class 2. That's where it's going to shine the best. That's what it's designed for. But I think as a class 1, keeping that low center of gravity and being able to do what we do is going to be a great contender. What I want to see is how well it actually gets over the boulders, and it's the hand boulders that I get concerned about, especially at reactive terrain. We use a lot of this kind of size to create obstacles in the way, and with only a 7-degree skid, it does mean that you're limited on some of your pull-ups and what you can kind of get over. But I think it's still going to be a great rolling rig. All right, so I've got the class 1 all set up and ready to go. The course does provide some really good tune-up obstacles. For example, this rock here is a great test to see what it's capable of actually doing pull-ups and overhangs. We've got this part over here, which right in the corner kind of tips around the 67-degree mark. So, it's a good indication of how well it's going to handle itself on inclines. And across the board, there are some pretty hairy places to take these. There's also one here which is a tilt test area. Don't know what that is doing here. That should be up there. And so we're going to test it on here. That basically gives you the good indication of whether it's going to fall over at a tilt degree. And well, the list kind of goes on. You don't have a course like this and make it super easy everywhere. All right, let's bring her up and see how well she does. I am going to try to attempt this one-handed. This Spectrum handset is actually really nice, quite fits in your hand quite well. And with a brushed, it's not the best throttle control, but it's doable. I'm going to take on these cold rocks, got up there, no problem at all. I'll snag on a tree. Now, in normal situations, a tree you could just snap. Our trees are made from copper and brass wire. They do not snap, they just bend. So I'm just going to move those out the way because it's probably like that because we had an open day and the rigs fall down and bash everything. I'm surprised that thing's still standing, to be honest. All right, anyway, where were we? Right, we're going to go over there. So that handled that really, no problem at all. Yeah, no worries at all. We're going to take it up over this one. I'm going to get one side up and take it along on its side. Go right to the heavy end. Yeah, no problem whatsoever, as I expected. It's still very wet down here. I'm not going to get the tyres too wet, so I'm going to hand roll it. We're going to take it over. I think we'll go over to the desert quickly and just have a little look over there and grab my controller. Let's take it over to the desert. We're actually running in a week's time. We've got the first ever Camel Trophy competition in the spirit of the Camel Trophy, Land Rovers and stuff like that. We're going to be tackling the environment, so it is going to get very wet and muddy over the next week. Take a month to dry out. Right, let's try this incline with the Class 1. In fact, I think this has probably got the best servo on it, really, because I think it's still running a ramp grab on it, which, to be fair, are quite good little budget servos. All right, so let's go bold and just go straight up, and let's just see what it does. Ooh, well, it had it then. Just a bit of sound on that top, just struggling. There we go. Had to pull the wheel speed up to get the traction, but that pulled up lovely. No issues whatsoever. I'm going to take it over here. This is they're running. This is all stock as well. Stock axles, stock links, stock suspension. And yeah, a little fall over there. There's no weight on the wheels. I've got no brass weights on it. I literally is running stock, so I don't expect it to do, you know, kind of crazy heavy stuff. But yeah, pretty. Actually, I'm extremely happy with how this is performing. A little snarled up on the skid then, but that 7-degree rail just helped it push over a little bit. Oh, I missed the line then. Yeah, you can't get out of that. Well, I mean, there's a few ways of getting out of it, but you're not doing it in that. Try and catch that. When it's cold, this gets really, traction on the tyres don't help. Just slides along the environment instead of gripping. But not getting snarled up at all. I thought the low skid was going to cause us a bit of issues around here, especially with the smaller tyres. Coming up with the tilt test as it drops back down. I try and catch it on the steering, but it just... Oh, there it goes. Yeah, we're good. That handled it. It's all right. Oh, no, there we go. Just couldn't get the traction as I come down. And I think that's probably due to the actual 0 degrees that it is today. Definitely making it a little tricky. I'm going to come in a little steeper and see if I can just push up a little higher. I have to say the MB100 with the 66 turn, the red Endurer, is definitely the better combination. Works much better than the 50 and the MB100. Oh, pulled myself up over the top. You definitely get better throttle control from it. So that's probably the sweet spot for the MB100 is the 66. we're just going to plow it on through. And it does seem to handle everything really well. So pretty happy with how this is handling. Iceberg bodies are super light Lennox bodies, so that really does help. Yeah, nice. Pulling itself up really nice. I've got no fancy high link risers on the rear. I've got absolutely nothing on this at all. All I've got is a set of deadbolt links and the chassis kit. And yeah, this is super good. I'm gonna take it over into the dog bowl. Kind of see how it pulls up over the dog bowl. So into the dog bowl. Yeah. Really nice. Oh, super excited. Dark in that corner, the light's blown. The frost got to it. I am absolutely blown away at how well that performs on small tires, body. I've got obviously the extensions on it. We've got body pins, and I'm stoked. I really am. Like, you know, sure, we've got a bit of lean back on the suspension, which you can do in stock anyway, or class 1, should I say. I haven't put any kind of weird uplink risers on it. Not that it doesn't need it. It's designed with it in the chassis. The one thing I've really done with the Bulldog is I've kept the axles in prime position, so they're not tilted back, so that your drive shaft comes down at them, because all of that does add to friction or not a smooth drive. All the axles on these and all the positions that you can put them in keep that drive shaft absolutely true to the gearbox, which means you've got a much smoother and nicer control. I'm really pleased at how well this kind of the low grade, you know, this is just stock. Absolutely everything in it is stock, other than obviously the motor, which is the red 66. But you know, the running gear, the axles, the drive, there's no weight on it. It's running stock links, stock suspension, and a big body. Man alive, I've said it like 10 times, so I'm definitely happy with its performance. All right, let's crack open another one and see how well that does. Everybody will get a big strip of duct tape to duct tape the body down. That is part of the kit. I forgot my Union Jack body, which has all the magnets on it. So I've only got this, which doesn't have the magnets, doesn't have the Velcro on the back. So good old duct tape. Do you reckon some of the big car manufacturers use duct tape during their testing? I reckon they do. I can't wait to actually build a rig where I can cut all the cables and get a full cable management system going in. At the moment, where I'm building rigs and testing, you kind of keep all the cables as long as you possibly can. And yeah, anyway, yeah, this let's see how it goes. Yeah, it really does not struggle kind of skimming over stuff, coming through stuff. Super low center of gravity on them, keeping that way. And I haven't even got the battery underneath it, this one. I've actually got the battery in the cab because I've only got a big battery at the moment that's got enough power to run this motor without it dying on me stupidly quick, which is what this one, which is what the FMS ones do. We're going to give it a little test up here. Now, I was able to get this up this angle here. Pretty good. I don't actually know what this is. I should get the angle finder out and give it a good test. I'm going to see what these tyres are like up here, though, because... try to do this one-handed. I think what I'll do is put the phone down. Oh, no. Oh yeah, that's not the line. That's not the line. See, not even the duct tape wants to stick. It's so cold down here today. Right, let's get this in position. I'm going to give it a go. Now I've got both hands available and I can concentrate without looking at the phone, making sure I've got everything in shot. So let's test this up on here. Batch is right up high in the cab, so I'm not sure it's going to have it. Ooh, these tyres definitely bounce around a little bit more than... Just going to try and get it up over that lump. Just a ridge at the top. Wants to do it. There we go. There we go. Excellent. Okay, good. That was a nice test. I don't know if it won't come down at that angle. I can't get square enough, I don't think. One thing I like to test as well is manoeuvrability at kind of silly angles. There it goes. You kind of expect it to fall off there, you know, it is literally a cliff face. So I wonder if I can get it to pull up. That's going to just tip it over its front balance, I think. Yeah. Alright, so that's that corner might be a little bit too much for it, but I'll give it another go. He says. Getting caught up in these wheel ruts. I think I've just put myself in the same spot, but I feel the servo wanting to pull it up over the top, then just couldn't get enough traction. Let's give it one more go. It is super cold here. Yeah, let's try and... That back wheel's going to go in there and then it's going to pull itself. Just uplifting all the time. Alright, we're going to give it a quick test up through this gully here. Again, I'm going to put the phone down, but this is a pretty nice area to kind of test your rig. It's very narrow, the lines are quite limited, but we're going to put the camera down around about here and see if we can't get the Bulldog up in that zone. Half the problem with this obstacle here is actually getting up to it. Some big old boulders in the way, but that didn't actually make any difference to the Bulldog whatsoever. Just getting that rear wheel caught on that thing, but yeah, no problem at all. Nice. Bring it back round the other side. And try and manoeuvre myself so I don't fall off. Yeah, we're good. Alright. Because you really get to see the sheer scale of reactive terrain and what it actually looks like. What we're going to try and do is come down in the gully so you don't pull the back end over the cab. So you're keeping the cab at its highest point. And yeah, a little bit of a slide, but managed to just accelerate it out, which is great. And what we're going to do is try and come down at this angle as well. Yeah. Oh, no. I got a little bit too trigger happy then. That was me. Just going for it. Getting a little cocky. All right, literally to my right-hand side is this up and over section. So we're going to have a look and see how well it does over this. All right, we're just going to bring it up and just see if we can get it to pull up over the top of it. It should do this relatively easy. The rock will be cold. Everybody will get pulled in the same position as rock. It's got this like center section, but yeah, as I suspected, not an issue at all for it. All right, well, that's good. We're going to take it down the dragon's back. So all these scales, all these lumps, we call this the dragon's back. Don't know why, it's just where it comes from. This is a nice obstacle. Again, I think what I'll do is I'll put the phone. That's the best place to put you. Where can I put you guys so you get a good view? Do this one-handed actually, because that way I can give you a good view. Yeah, threw it off the side, which is what it does, but no problems at all trying to recover from there. It really does put you in a tough angle. In fact, it didn't struggle with anything. Right, that's pretty good. I'm going to bring it down here. It might roll over. Oh no, it just clung onto the side. Again, that's a real kind of nice bit of flex shown there. The cold definitely creates a bit of traction problems on some of the stone, but overall just a super clean, super comfortable rig to drive. Just up on the Wolf's Ridge. All right, I'm going to get the class 3 up and going, and then we'll just take the bodies off and we'll have a little closer look and see what's going on and what they're good. Like I say, this is just me testing them, beta testing them, first looks really, and see how well they do. There will be a build video once they get released and show you how to kind of build it all and where it all goes and all the different components to the Bulldog. But so far, it's a really clean, confident little LCG. All right, so this is the Bulldog Class 3 dressed up kit, and this allows you can remove the rear section to basically put a 4-wheel steer system into it as well. Doesn't kind of cause any problems with the rear. It's still super strong because of this inner piece. Comes with a boa. Right, yes, it is spaghetti junction. I am not cutting cables yet on anything, because during the beta testing, you just throw it all in there. We'll just see. You'll see a lot of this. I do this a lot. I just throw it all in and see how it goes. It is running this big ass RC group motor and ESC, so that will go in there. Pretty nice actually. There's the actual control unit's still a little bit big. I've had to stick it out because it won't actually fit inside that little area there. Yeah, look, you know, you have to have small stuff for these things. Although the MB100 is similar size to this, so you could put a brushless, but the brushless takes it right down low. Sorry, the brush would remove all that head height, so you could actually put that on top in here. It wouldn't actually have to go in here. In fact, nothing would have to go in here if you put like a Purple Viper in it or a brushed normal SCX24 system. It'd sit right down low. So then all you would have is maybe a module up onto the tray and your battery on your boa. But I haven't got that. I wanted to see if I could put this in and see what this does. Right, this definitely sits a lot lower. Even though it's got slightly bigger wheels, kind of climbs. Again, same as the other tyres, just getting to that last little lip, just having to spin. When you get up here, you've got this last little bit here, really gnarly. There's like a little valley just there. Does cause you a bit of issues, but it's a good obstacle to kind of tackle. This won't be the most competent class 3 out there. I mean, it's only a 7-degree skid, and you know, there are plenty of big contenders out there when it comes to class 3, but what I wanted to be able to do is just give that option if somebody wanted to make it 4-wheel steer, make it look a little bit cooler, kind of into that type of thing. Like I say, these are all running deadbolt front ends, either Gladiator rear or deadbolt rear. It's a lot heavier than the other rigs because it's got actual brass everywhere. I probably got the rear ends way too heavy, really. Yeah, it didn't struggle up there at all. Oh. Okay, cool. Right, excellent. Okay, so like I say, it's good. It's all right. You know, it gets places where a lot of people won't get to in just a standard rig, which is great. It gets to a lot of places that people don't get to in some normal rigs. So it's doing its job. Definitely needs a bit more tune. I kind of threw everything on this one because I was running out of bits, and it was late. Back end's probably a little bit too heavy for it. Could do with a lighter back end, keeping up the weight of the front. And probably, I reckon I could probably just push the shocks down just a smidge as well, and it still wouldn't struggle with center of gravity. All right, well, I'm going to have a drink, and we'll take a closer look at some of the components and strip some of the electrics off so we can see actually what the kit's made up of. But I think initial testing, I am super happy with all the 3 different versions you can kind of build from this. And this is, well, I guess you could do whatever you like, really, regarding front links, rear links. Yeah, it's a great concept, and I'm really happy in how they're all performed. All right, so here we are on the bench, and I'm just going to show you some of the different components that you can get in the kit, well, that you do get in the kit. So this is what it kind of looks like. This is the Bulldog. This is kind of its pedigree setting. Something's still on somewhere. I can hear it beeping at me. I know what it is. 2 seconds. Left me controller on, didn't I? That's what was beeping at me. So yeah, so this is the kind of setup. This is absolutely just sweet. This setup here with the battery underneath the Bulldog clip is just super cool. Now I've kept it super compact. You know, there is very little room for maneuver and adjustment. You've got an adjustable sliding skid, so you can really push this right over against the rails, because actually the ESC fits in this gap here, so you could mount it in there, and it fits in there perfectly. Then all you've got to do is put your receiver, and your battery sits underneath here, so everything can sit nice and low. There is no skids to it. Nothing gets mounted on the outside down here other than the shocks, so keeping it nice and clean and streamlined. It's running a 7-degree skid, as you can see. Now, unlike a lot of kits, this has got quite a thick chassis rail. Again, what I tried to do is pack out just a little bit more material than usual underneath this line here, and then thin it out at the top, so all the weight is really focused right down here. Now, we thought at the beginning that this may cause us a bit of issues. Hasn't caused us any issues whatsoever. In fact, yeah, I barely even notice it. Plenty of adjustments on the front, so you've got your front link all the way at the front, and a load of adjustment for the shocks on the front and on the rear. We are running this prototype rear link set. This will probably go in the kit as well. Might not look exactly the same as this. In fact, some of these parts might change over the course, but this actually has a hoop bar for a limiting strap, and on this back tail piece, which is here, this piece here, it also has a hook underneath that you can then attach it to create a limiting strap for the rear. Fronts, just usual, either around the top of the servo or band your shocks. And what this does is it actually takes the links from the usual position on the back of the axles and brings them right up in line. It doesn't cause any problems. Got nice amount of flex without it going kind of too crazy, and yeah, really comfortable. So that's kind of what you're going to get. And you also get the Bulldog body, which is a hard body, and then you also get a tail piece, so it looks like that. So that is what the kit kind of is. And then you get all of the kit, and then you get everything in the kit to do the conversion for Class 1, except the body. But Iceberg RC will sort you out for those. He's got a great selection. You're going to want Gladiator wheelbase, so anything Gladiator will fit this absolutely fine. So what this does is, where the battery is, let's remove the battery, is you've got a completely different front plate to the Bulldog. The Bulldog has two mag mounts there which get connected to the body, and that keeps that locked down. This has a different tray somewhere you can put the battery. As we've seen, the battery sat there, made no difference whatsoever to it. It was so good, you know, being that little bit higher than what it is on here, it really did make a lot of odds, and kept all the weight right over the front as well, which is what we want. Even on the small wheels, of course, there's no problems regarding travel or getting snarled up. In fact, we barely got hung up at all with the small wheels, which was, you know, I'm super impressed with. In fact, I've probably got snarled up a little bit more with this thing being as low as it is than I did this. But there we go. Two different types of breeds designed for very different types of courses. So you get a front beam that extends over the top. Now there is actually a bumper on here. The only reason why I didn't put it on there is because it actually sits underneath, and there's a reason for that. It actually sits underneath the vehicle, the hood, because when you put bumpers on, they stick right out here. They're the first things that's kind of going to hit. What this does is that it'll hit the body, which is nice and flexible, and then it's got this bull bar that basically rolls up the rocks underneath it rather than kind of in front, but it does come with a bumper. So you get shock tower mounts that mount to the chassis, which means you do have to lose the first few adjustment points for the shocks, but really most people are going to be sat around the last 6 and even on the 7th back there anyway, so actually it makes no difference to it whatsoever. You also then get the same on the front. You get some shock tower mounts and the shock towers, and you get this little internal piece that you can put on the rear as well, so that the chassis is fully covering the rear axle and it is fully covering the front axle, and the body means that it actually takes it across 25% of the wheels and tires. In fact, that's over half, and that's over half, and this was running just all stock axles, stock links, stock everything. Really comfortable. In fact, I really enjoyed driving this today, so I'm super happy with how that sets up. Right, so the Class 1 and Class 2. Now if you wanted to make these, you know, multiple rigs, then all the parts and components will be available as well to buy separately. So if you wanted to build another one and you've got most of the parts for Class 1, or you've got most of the parts for Class 3, because you do get most of it, you'd only need to buy 4 components and you can roll it out as a different rig. Right, Class 3. Now this is kind of down to anyone's preference. I do love the look. It has got such a really cool look to it. So you will get the hood, you'll get the drop tray, and you will get the side rails that connect to the Bulldog as well. Like I say, if you wanted to build multiple classes, you'll just need to obtain different parts. You do get the boa as well, part of the class 3 kit, and that's the thing about this kit. I really wanted to add something a little different than nobody else does. There's a lot of LCG kits out there. It's not going to be the most competent class 3. It is going to be one hell of a good competitor in class 2 and class 1 if you can swivel the odds on the judge and the scrutineering, then you've got yourself one hell of a good class 1. But I wanted to give options so that you can build whichever flavor you like, mix and match whatever you want to do, and you know, you could use this in a class 2 and get that on, I guess. You don't have to have the 4-wheel steer, you could just have it standard, but it really does, you know, you can remove this piece here, so you can have this rig set up with a servo as well. All the parts to make something super good. So you could just have the Bulldog body if that's what you wanted to do, make it rear wheel steer, front wheel steer, done. Just wanted to really give a good selection of builds, and I am super happy of how this has gone today. So I think that's a big thumbs up for testing. I reckon we're almost there. A few nips and tucks, a few tweaks, and the Bulldog is going to hit the market. All right, well, it's freezing cold and my hands have stopped working, so I am going to head back home with a nice cup of tea and button up these last few bits on the Bulldogs. The next video you're going to be seeing from us is our camel trophy competition. Yes, we've got 20 competitors going to try their luck in an FCX 24M across some of the toughest terrain there is indoor, and it is going to be brutal. They're going to have to use their brains, their brawns, and just their stupidity to get through this. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a lot of batteries, and we hope to bring the spirit of the original camel trophy with that endurance, that kind of sense of achievement. It's going to be absolutely carnage. And on that note, I'm going to see you all later. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. He's not listening. Hit the like button and notification bell, and I'll see you next time.